Soul podcast. I'm back. It's Fairy, your host, and I am, as always, ecstatic to be here and can't wait to dive into today's topic. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this community. I've been doing these sessions in my car just because I drive around, I feel inspired, and then I pop in and I just record these. I usually have an idea of what I'm going for and I already organize all the materials for it, but it's also a great opportunity for me to be able to just really stay present and stay involved and as kind of as true and honest as I can be as well. So I appreciate you listening in. If you see someone walk by, don't worry about it. But I am looking forward to diving into today's topic, which is all about your Dharma Blueprint. And I actually went through the Dharma Coaching Institute with Sahara Rose. I went through their coaching program, and this was very much a key part of their training. And I think really illustrates the amount of depth that is required to understand truly what your purpose is. And that's what Dharma means. So Dharma is a Sanskrit word for your purpose or your soul's purpose, or ultimately the reason why you're here. And I think we're always striving to understand what that is for us, but it's not as cut and dry as a lot of people think it is. And so this is kind of more of a structured approach on how to understand what that might mean for you and how you can show up fully in your life, or even start moving yourself in the direction towards that. So we'll go through the different pieces that are comprised of your Dharma Blueprint, and then how you might be able to start navigating that path towards that for yourself. If you want to have an ongoing coaching session where I actually will take a 3-month program to be able to help you understand that and also take very specific steps in that direction, happy to have that conversation with you. It's definitely a passion of mine. It's something that I've been navigating personally, and I would be honored to be able to help you move along your path as well. So we'll start by that, but quick life update. Okay, so I decided I'm going to start doing this because if you don't know me, I usually will just jump right into the conversation, which if you want me to skip ahead, probably 2 minutes, and you can just go straight into the Dharma Blueprint conversation. But I thought just to give you a little idea of who I am outside of these conversations, what I'm doing personally and all that kind of stuff, I thought it would give you a little life update. So I'm going to start life updates for the first couple minutes, and then we'll go into the topic, okay? So life update. If you follow me on the gram, that's also a great place to be able to connect with me at Ferrachino, Ferrachino. I really do post a lot of what I'm going through personally on there, just to be able to give you an idea of what's happening with myself, and also inspiration that I feel is really fueling me on my own personal path, that hopefully will also inspire you. So if you want to catch me on the gram, great place to connect. But outside of that, we just had a full moon in Capricorn in the summer solstice. And if you know me, you know I love astrology. And the reason why I am abnormally stoked about this particular full moon, one, it switched into Cancer, which is my home, my sun sign. I am a Cancer. And so we're moving into the watery depths of emotion, of nurturing, of creation. But that is also in Capricorn, which is the polar opposite of Cancer, which is more about the father of the zodiac, the pragmatic approach, the systemic growth of what we are trying to achieve within our lives. So it's very much in alignment with kind of that more structured approach, or pragmatic approach to achieving our soul's purpose. And I was diving deeper into that and kind of understanding what this full moon was presenting for the collective, but also even just applying that to my life personally. And all of it was about how do you create, what are you allocating time for and what's worth your investment? And that's sincerely what the full moon was all about. And I was spending time with someone that actually spent time with a few people that I care about during that period of time, and really got it. I kind of had this honest conversation of who is, most important in my life right now, and who am I, allocating time for, and what can I really fit within my schedule? If you don't know, I also am in real estate. I also do coaching. I do this pod. I teach yoga, and also I'm a single mother of a 5-year-old daughter who's entering preschool this fall, and also just trying to, connect with my friends and family as well. So to say that I have a few things on my plate would be an understatement. But I also volunteer, for raising girls for multiple organizations. I also am on the board of council for Women's Council of Realtors. I travel with them. I'm president-elect next year, so I'm actually going to be the president in 2 years. So I'm highly involved. I'm the events director now, so I actually host events in the Seattle-King County region, specifically geared towards real estate agents and affiliates. And I just hosted their fundraiser last month. And we're planning a few different lunch and learns, and then also a wine walk in Woodinville and a bunch of different things. Anyways, so I got a few things I do on the day-to-day. And I recently started talking to a gentleman, to be perfectly honest. And if you're watching, you know who you are. I might send him this episode. He'd probably laugh at me. He thinks I'm ridiculous, and I am. That's a lot of work, man. I'm telling you. Starting a new relationship is not an easy task, to say the least. And especially then juggling all the other things I do on a regular basis, which were already pretty full in the first place, has been interesting. But I'm learning my way. And also I've in the past kind of like completely been consumed by my relationships, and so I'm trying not to do that this time, and I'm trying to create some type of autonomy, but also to like give the time and energy that's needed in order to feel like he knows that I'm showing up and that I'm investing my time and energy into him as well. So it's been a process. So nonetheless, giving you a quick life update, it's really what I've been focused on personally is evaluating what's worth my time and energy, who's worth my time and energy, and what long-term investments am I making for that long-term return. And that's not always easy to understand in the moment. Also, I'm just a love bug, so I just love to love on people and the people in my life, and I like to show up for the people that matter to me. And also, like, friends that reach out, people that reach out, I try to show up for them fully as well, and be really present to the conversations I'm having in those moments. And that's on top of, the professional relationships that I have with clients, and also with other agents and all of that too. So anyways, the list goes on. But I am navigating that right now, and I encourage you to think about it for yourself as well. Really kind of evaluate, who am I spending time with? What activities am I investing in? What hobbies? And how am I also investing in myself? How am I allocating time and energy for self-care, to be able to show up for me, to be able to make sure I'm coming from a full cup and over an abundance of flowing energy and love, so that I'm not depleting myself, which I've done. And to say how many times I've experienced burnout on multiple levels is slightly disturbing. So I love to really pour into people. I love to pour into projects and companies and beliefs and mission statements. Anything that I'm working towards and striving towards, I do give 100%, but we only have 100% to give within our life. So really kind of dissecting that pie into the percentages and really figuring out what's a sustainable approach for me has been my life's work, and also is what I've been particularly focused on within the last couple years. And so this introduction of a new partnership, a potential partnership, is something that's thrown me for a little bit of a loop, because that's the one thing I've nixed out of the pie for a while. So we're bringing it back into the pie, but it's a large portion of it. So really trying to figure out a healthy balance within it all is what I've been striving to do. And I would love to hear your thoughts on how you do this within your life, because it's something that's important to me. Sorry, I was going to close the sunroof just because I'm getting a little bit of sun coming down, but anyways, it's fine. Illuminating, if you will. But it's something to really, I've done a few studies. Actually, that might be what the podcast is going to be about next week, because I would love to be able to dive deeper into how I kind of divvy that up and how it's been going, and honestly what's been the most effective way for me to approach that includes me and my own well-being as a part of the pie, which, especially as a mother, it's easy to forget. So take care of yourself out there. Make sure you're doing things for your own mental health and well-being, and also have a little bit of fun too. One of my last podcasts was about the importance of fun. Never forget that. That is a key part of it. All right, and that dives us straight into what is your Dharma blueprint? So if you're unfamiliar with your Dharma is your soul's purpose. So it's actually why you're intended to be on this earth, and really what God, ultimately, or the universe has designed you for, and a way you can show up to help serve the community around you in the most authentic and true way possible, while also having an occupation, while also being able to have a profession to where you're able to live a sustainable life at the same time. And as a mompreneur and as an entrepreneur that's ran multiple businesses, that's the key part that I think often gets left out of these passion projects. We have a passion project, something that fuels us, that lifts us up, but we're not actually getting that return from it. So how can you create a lifestyle that you can actually sustain while also giving back? And that's what I wanted to talk more about today. And I'm actually hosting a masterclass in 2 weeks to go more in depth into this, and also then apply it and talk through it with people. So I'm going to give a quick overview in our conversation today, but if you're interested in diving deeper, let me know and I can send you the link to sign up for it, and I'll actually include it in the show notes so you can sign up on Eventbrite and you can join the online masterclass. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about it first. So what is your Dharma blueprint? What does that actually mean in the first place? And that's really about understanding the tangible action and the plan in order to achieve your Dharma. And that is actually comprised of 5 major elements. That's your Dharma archetype, the median in which naturally flows to you, what excites you, the obstacles you've overcome to be able to help others, that you are intended to help others overcome, and also your superpower. So let's talk about this first. So your Dharma archetype, there's actually a quiz that I can send you if you're interested in understanding your Dharma archetype, but it's really the highest and way for you to be able to show up within your life. And that's running your business can really feel like what's aligned with your intended purpose. How do you show up within this world? Are you an activist? Are you someone that wants to be able to stand up for rights and to be able to make a difference in that way? Or are you someone that's more of a nurturer? Are you someone that likes to love on people and show up for people in that way? And you are really someone that motivates others through love and care and compassion? Or are you someone who's a researcher that wants to understand and study and dive deeper into topics in particular, and you're this just makes me come alive, I love to understand this, I want to research and learn about it? Or are you a teacher? Are you someone that wants to share specific knowledge around a topic that you're passionate about to be able to help others understand it deeper for themselves as well, and to be able to answer questions? And that's me. So I'm a teacher. That's one of my Dharma archetypes. So I love to explain things. I love to break it down. I love to break down all the little pieces and to see that light bulb go off on someone's head when they understand it fully and how it applies to their life. It fuels me. It's one of the things I love doing more than most things in life. And it's definitely been a constant theme throughout my entire career, ever since I first started. Really, I got my degree in psychology and I went into education almost immediately. So that is a big part of who I am. And it's definitely how I show up for others, but that's not for everyone. So understanding your Dharma archetype is first and foremost the first thing. In the masterclass, we'll also take a quiz for people to understand what their Dharma archetype is so that you can have that input when you're deciding what makes sense for you. So first things first, understanding your Dharma archetype. Finding that just thing that naturally lights you up, and some questions to think about when you're thinking about what your best median is do you prefer words or numbers? Do you prefer ideas or tools? Do you prefer speaking or do you prefer writing? Do you enjoy creativity or more analytical approach? These are simple ways for you to kind of break down what makes the most sense for you, and that way that really does light you up and naturally flows through you. And that is something that has been something for me to learn, and also to really break through my throat chakra, to be able to recognize that speaking and connecting with others and engaging people directly is a gift of mine. I love to talk. I do love to talk. That's why I started the podcast. But that was something that I had to overcome a huge fear around. So know that even if it's something that does flow for you naturally, doesn't mean that there might not be some blocks that are holding you back from really sharing in that way. And that's also why having a coach or someone to work through these things with is so important, because there might be something that you are it is destined for you to be able to share, but you might have to work through some, preconceived notions about yourself and what you're capable of in order to really show up in that way. So Number 2 is find the medium that flows to you. And then number 3 is find out what excites you. And this is one of my favorite ones to like research with people, because like what lights you up, what makes you come alive, what makes you feel excited and like passionate, and just like literally the moment that the topic crosses your mind, it's like you are jazzed and you can't wait to share more about it. You want to talk to people about it. You want to meet other people that are interested in it. And it's something that really is just important to you. And you might not fully understand why, or maybe there is a very specific reason why, but nonetheless, you can't get enough of it. And you also want to be able to incorporate that and share this with others. And I think that that is like the true like gift of what is individualized for us and our purpose, because what lights you up is not going to necessarily light up everyone. And I think that that's when we really know that distinguishing piece and that niche that we can find within our own personal dharma, so that we can like align with how we can share within that realm. And the more particular and more specific we get, the more likely we are to connect with people that we're actually intended to jive with, you know? And I think that that's people like want to cast such a broad net that we really miss, or like the little fish pop out of the people that are intended for us to work with, because we're trying to appeal to everyone. No one is meant to appeal to everyone. You have a specific purpose. You have a specific thing that lights you up for a reason. So trust that. Trust yourself and what makes you come alive. Okay, so this can be a lot of different things though. So like write down all the things that like you get jazzed about, that you like are inspired by, that you would literally do if no one paid you, just because you love it so much. And I bet you there's a few things that come to mind when you think of that. So write those things down too. And then the next is number 4 in your Dharma Blueprint is understanding the obstacle that you're solving. So what problem are you solving for someone? What if that's, if you're an entrepreneur type and you want to be able to create a product that makes life easier for someone, or maybe like for myself, I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be able to help people overcome fear and insecurities and pursuing their purpose, and also be able to uncover what is holding them back from being authentic and true to who they are and showing up in that way and all that they do. Like that was because that was a huge obstacle for me. I was really struggled with being, 100% myself, because I was so adaptable, but also I was scared of judgment. I was scared of how people might approach me and how they might view me and if they didn't like me. And so for me to be able to help people like rip that band-aid off and be like, fuck everybody, just be you. That's what's really I'm passionate about, because that was something that was so hard for me to be able to achieve. So if I can kind of move the needle forward for someone else, or kind of like remove some of the obstacles in someone's path in the pursuit of that, I am stoked. That is literally it. Like, I am so jazzed. If you can't tell, this really does make me really happy. So finding those things that light you up, that bring you joy, that also solves a problem for others. You can't get much better than that. So some questions to think about when you're trying to understand this is like, what obstacle would you solve for others professionally? And also, usually your ideal client is someone who's an old version of you. So what was something that you didn't know before that you learned about that then you can help someone else achieve, right? So like I always say, envision yourself like 3 to 5 years ago, and what did you overcome, and what were the steps that you how you overcame that problem, and then how can you then help others achieve the same thing? Right? And that's very specific. That's very unique to you. And again, that's why it's your Dharma. That's why it's your specific purpose. All right, people, we are moving to, wait, no, this is right. So what are some obstacles that you've overcome? Write them down. Actually really think about this. What have you personally overcome, and what could you help others to overcome? And this can be a variety of different topics, but really consider, like, again, that previous version of you, what you learned throughout that process, and then how you could shortcut it for someone else. Okay. Then the last part of the Dharma Blueprint is your superpower. It's your how. It's like, how would you actually make this big difference that you are intended to, that you were truly designed to by the heavens, right? Your entire life has led you up to this point. And that's what I don't want people to underestimate about your superpower. You have a very specific set of skills. I'm like talking about this, and then I'm thinking about, that one movie, and he's like, I have a very specific Taken? Is it Taken? Anyways, but like, think about that. Like, truly think about that guy. Like, Honestly, I wish it was my father, because I was like, man, if I ever get taken, who do I know that has that specific set of skills that could find me? Anyways, hopefully that never, knock on wood, that never happens. But nonetheless, what is your specific set of skills? What are the things that you know how to do or how to impact? Is it the community that surrounds you? Is it your connections, your networking? Is it your skill sets that you acquired through different career paths? Is it your family upbringing? Is it the obstacles or health over, like things that you've experienced firsthand? I have a few friends that have gone through cancer situations, and they've really gotten involved within that realm in order to give back to people in that way. So many different things. This could really apply to a multitude of different topics, but it's specific to you, and that's why it's your superpower. Okay, so like it's something that only you can really speak to because of your knowledge and experience around it. And so some things that you can ask yourself is like, what advice that can, like, what do people come to you advice for? Like, how have I supported you in the past? How has this supported you in the past? Like asking other people, what inspires you about me? How have I supported you in the past? So these are questions you can ask people in your life that might be curious about it, or even asking yourself them, and then asking people that are close to you. Like, what are your innate gifts? Asking others around you, like, what do you feel like your innate gifts are? Like, what do you love about yourself? What do others love about you? What do you feel like really makes you different and unique from other people? That's your superpower. So writing that down is also important. So if you take the master class, I'm actually going to have like a worksheet that we're going to fill in to be able to complete all of these things. And then we'll dive deeper into what applies and what doesn't apply and which category it goes within. And then once we comprise an entire like sheet with all of these items, then we drill down into what your superpower is and your blueprint in action. So like, for example, like, this is one of my favorite. I love Brené Brown. So like her Dharma Blueprint is broken down by her Dharma archetype is researcher, teacher, nurturer, visionary. Then the medium that naturally flows through her, obviously research and writing and speaking. What excites her? Researching and sharing information to help others overcome shame. What obstacles has she helped? Feeling shame and unworthiness herself. That's why she's delved into this topic, is because this is something that she's personally overcome. And then what's her superpower? Making theme shame research interesting and relatable for the worldwide audience through kind motherly personality. Like, it's literally her purpose. She is living her purpose, and you feel it when you hear her speak. And I think that that's what the Dharma Blueprint is all about. Like, what is destined for you, how you're supposed to show up in the world. And then how can you drill into that? Like, you think of like Deepak Chopra, teacher, researcher, visionary, entrepreneur. What flows naturally through him? Writing and teaching. What excites him? Meditation, spirituality, science, non-duality. What obstacles has he overcome in order to help others overcoming? Not having a strong spiritual foundation, mental stillness, or inner peace. What's his superpower? His ability to create books after book approving spirituality through scientific research. Like, he's merging all of the areas of his life in order to show up as authentically and as true as possible, and also making an incredible impact within the world around him. And that's ultimately what I think is the purpose of all of this, is what's the biggest impact that you can make and to improve the world for everyone around you, including yourself, while being lit up and inspired along the way. Like, life is too short for anything else. And I think so often we get stuck in this, like, the rat race of life of trying to be all the things that we feel like the world wants us to be. And trust me, I was there full throttle. I had really designed a life that I felt like I was supposed to be in. Like, I was all the things to everyone around me because that's what I thought that I was meant to do. And it was making everyone else feel happy. So I thought, okay, well then it also should make me happy. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, it did not. And it was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life because I had to tear everything apart. And then I restructured it all back together around what made me come alive. What am I passionate about? What are things that naturally bring me joy? Who are those people? And like, how can I create a life that's really designed and orchestrated around that? And how do I really want to show up for the other people around me? And what are my gifts? And what are the things I'm naturally good at? And how can I just naturally organize my life in something that actually fuels me and that inspires me so that I can continue to do this type of work and be sustainable in the pursuit of it. So know that you don't have to have all of the answers. That's why we're in this together. That's why we're working on this together. But that's also why it's just starting sometimes it's just starting the conversation around these topics to even get you thinking about what this possibly could mean for you. And then how can you create a life really that is, you know, rooted in your purpose and rooted in why you're actually intended to be here. And, you know, if you believe in that, I think that once you start to feel it, once you start to just get a little dabble of it, you get a little insight into it, I'm telling you, game fucking changer. Game fucking changer. People always make like, you seem like you're thriving. You seem like you're in such a good space. You seem like so happy and just like content with your life. It's because I fucking created that. I wasn't. I was so unhappy with my life. I was so unhappy with my life. I was literally having anxiety attacks on a regular basis. My hair was falling out. I was literally so depressed and so anxious all the time that I didn't know what to fucking do with myself. So I recognized I didn't want to keep living that way, so I changed my life. And you can too. And know that you don't have to be at that state in order to make that change. Or maybe you just feel lost and you feel like you're headed in a direction you feel like really isn't in alignment with your greater, you know, with your gifts or with the reason why you're intended to be here, and you just know that deep down within your soul that that's the case, and like that's okay. And like let's bring this all up to the surface in order to get you in alignment with why you were intended to be here, and hopefully to be able to create a life that you're proud of, that you can leave a legacy for, and that you can actually then be able to make a lasting impact in the world because of the fact that you just honored your truth, you honored your unique design and why you're here. Wouldn't that be great though? Ah! Okay, so I'm just going to break through how we can do this. And I'm going to talk about, we've talked about the Dharma Blueprint and we've broken all of this down. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes to make sure I covered everything I wanted to, but we've covered it. But now it's actually putting that into action. So if you want to join my masterclass, it's going to be hosted in 2 weeks on July 7th, Sunday, July 7th, 7 to 9 p.m. It's online. You can access it. It's free. We're going to break down all of these pieces, but then also kind of do like more back and forth and conversation around them so that if this doesn't make sense or if you are like, well, does this apply? Does this not apply? What about this? And also create a community around this topic and to be able to just dive deeper together. Because I think when we have community around us as we're pursuing these types of conversations, it can just bring some clarity. And even if it's not just from me, but also from the group around us as we discuss it. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you're interested in finding out more, you can check out my website at coachingwithfarah.com, or you can also go to my Eventbrite, which is Coaching with Farah, or at Farahchino, or you can find me on the gram, which has all this information and more at Farahchino, Ferrah. Looking forward to hearing back from you soon. And I hope this was useful and helpful, and I can't wait to talk to you about it more. Love you.